Welcome to Networking RX, a podcast devoted to helping business professionals like you enhance your networking skills in order to become more proficient giving and receiving quality business referrals and improving the overall quality of your life and the lives of those around you. The Networking RX podcast is a production of AmSpirit Business Connections, an organization whose mission is to empower business success through networking.
Welcome to the Networking RX podcast. I'm your host, Frank Agan, founder and president of AmSpirit Business Connections. Today, I have another great guest. If you were listening 2 days ago, I did an episode about a study, University of Chicago, and I referenced somebody in that study, somebody who had shared on social media some information with me, and then shared about a TEDx talk that she had done. And So I told you I was going to interview her. Here she is, Dia Irby. Let me just kind of go through her bio here. She's originally from Mississippi. Dia, just jump in at any point if I screw this up. She's lived in 5 southern states. She told me before we hit record she's from South America, southern United States. 15 different homes, serving churches with her husband, who's a pastor. And she's owned and operated a tea room, and now she's a realtor in North Carolina. But the common thread through everything in her life is building real community wherever she's lived. She's got a home with 5 children, building community there. They're not all there now.
Eight.
Oh, 8 children. I'm sorry. All right. 8 children.
Don't forget the rest of them.
Yeah, you're right.
I hear this. Who did you leave out, Mom?
Yeah, no, I know. So she's built community with her family, her 8 children, 18 grandchildren. I got that right.
Yes, you did.
And community within their church. She's had businesses where you build community, and she knows the value of belonging and understanding that people need to be claimed. And we're going to talk about claimed and what that means. And she's a published author, as I indicated earlier, a TEDx speaker. She's a connector, she's a communicator, she's a cultivator, and she's on a mission to help leaders know how to claim their people. And I know you provided me what claim stands for, but I want you to talk about claimed and building community. So I don't want to steal that thunder. Dia, please take it from here.
Oh, do you have your notes in front of you? Because here's the thing I like to do.
Okay.
I like to get you to guess what the letters are. So don't look at your cheat sheet, okay?
Oh.
See, I believe that people don't just want to be connected. They want to be claimed, and they want to belong. I mean, why else do you have street gangs or whatever? Everybody wants to belong to something.
Yeah.
And the 5-facet leadership strategy encompasses that, and it spells out claim. So each letter of claim stands for part of that strategy. And the C is, and don't look at your cheat sheet, what do you think the C stands for?
Well, I've got a pretty good memory, and I saw it, so I know that's claim, or chosen.
Yes, chosen.
Yeah.
Yes. And I mean, think back, I don't know if you were the one that was asked to be the team captain and you got to pick the players, yep. Or were you the one that wanted to read a book instead of play on the team and you always got picked last? You know, that impacts people when they get chosen, and it doesn't go away. When we're adults, we want to know that we're chosen for a job. When all of our children were coming up, my husband would always say, if God lined when we just had one, when God lined all the children in the whole world and asked me who would I pick, I would pick you. And he would say that over and over. Then we had a son. So then it was all the boys. And then we had a third one. It was like, if all the 2-year-olds were like, you have to, that's the concept. People want to know that they are chosen, that they're wanted. So that's the C of that. And the L, C-L.
I'm guessing that L is liked or loved or something like that.
Yes, loved.
Okay.
And, how many, I counted it over, I looked it up, over 1,000 songs with love in the title. Because what's love got to do with it?
Yeah, there you go.
Love is a many splendored thing.
Right.
And people want to be loved and know, and in the workplace, that means they feel secure and non-judgmental. There's no judgment there. They can be who they are, their love for who they are, for what they brought to the program. So L is loved. And then the next letter is A, and I'm sure you remember that one.
I would say accepted or appreciated, one of those two. No?
Really, that's all in the close.
Okay.
Acknowledged.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Productive people are not always.
I did turn my sheet over. I am not cheating, just so everyone knows.
Productive people are not always acknowledged, but acknowledged people are always productive. So people want to be acknowledged. And it starts from when we all took that first step. We let go of the couch and everybody cheered. Look, he's walking, he's walking. And that we like that and we look for that. And if you are a leader and you can acknowledge, I don't mean the everybody gets a trophy acknowledged. Mm-hmm. Because even children, that it doesn't mean anything to them because they know they didn't work for it. Their mom or dad paid the fee for them to participate, and then they got the trophy. The acknowledgement is valuable if you know that you've done the work that gets acknowledged, right?
Yeah.
And so the A is acknowledged, and the I, testing your memory.
Included.
Ooh, no.
That's almost with chosen, I guess.
It is. It is. It was chosen, loved, and sort of acknowledged.
Okay.
Invested in.
Okay.
Well, with parenting with your children, do you know how children spell love? Time.
Time.
They want their parents to invest their time in them. And we don't grow out of that. We want to know that we're valuable enough that someone will stop and invest time. There are a number of ways you can invest in people. If you're a leader or you own a company, you can invest in their education, in their training. You can advance them that way. You can provide the right equipment that they need and the resources that they need. But if you're trying to, cut out expenses, if you just stopped and gave people time and listened, attentively listened, not, well, let's see, I'm supposed to stand here next to this person and let them talk. No, ask, well, tell me more. And what do you mean by that? Oh, so what you're saying is, and repeat it back so they know that you were really listening. And they say, well, tell me more. And ask those questions. I don't know if you know about Campbell Soup Company was in the 1990. It was about to go, like no more chicken noodle soup. Okay. And they got a new CEO in, and he turned the place around. And one of his strategies was investing in all of the employees, every single one. And because everybody didn't have email, he wrote personal notes to every single person and mentioned, great job cleaning the floors. I mean, it didn't matter what they did. If they were part of the company, they got a note from him. Do you know what that did to the morale? His investment in them, it turned it around. And of course, that's not the only thing he did, but that's an illustration of investing in people. And
that's a little thing that kind of builds big momentum, right?
Totally. Well, going back to the A for acknowledged, I have a friend that was given the job of taking over a mid-sized company to either get rid of the subsidiary or rework it or move, just totally make whatever. He had the reins. He could do whatever he wanted. And as he got to know the people, he realized that a number of people that were in the company were like very gifted, but they were not in the right position. Like the lady that was always late for work, didn't want to do her job. She, slumped at the desk and she wasn't doing customer service. And he did a personality analysis and skills analysis and realized she needed to be in charge of a totally different department. And man, that made all the difference. He invested time to find out who she was, acknowledged what her gifts were, and then put her in the right position. So all of that comes down to actually our last letter, which is M. What do you think M stands for? You remember?
I don't.
Oh, good. What would you guess? People want to know that they.
I want to say, remember is R. That they matter.
There you go.
All right.
Yes, that they matter. Well, it also, originally I was thinking that they're made for greatness, but when you say people want to be told that they're made for greatness, that gives you the impression that they have to be on the front of a magazine or, be famous all over the world. And what they are made for greatness in the fact that every one of us, you with your AmSpirit and everything else in your life, you are here with a specific job that you have been created for, gifted for, and had all the experiences to come to the point where you can fulfill your purpose on earth. And that is when you are being your greatest. I mean, you hear people talk all the time about be your best self and be your greatest. Well, people want to know that they are, but behind all that is really people want to know that they matter. People want to know if they don't show up to work, that what they would have brought to the table is going to be missed.
Right.
I mean, and building our churches from 7 people to 200 was our first out of the gate job. And people knew that if they weren't there, we missed them. Of course, when you have 10 people, of course you're going to miss them. But you have to have a system set up that helps people know that they matter. And that they're important.
Yeah, it comes down to a sense of purpose. I think of the story of the interviewer was talking to the janitor at NASA. What are you doing? Well, one person, I'm sweeping the floor. The other person, like, well, I'm putting a man on the moon. He mattered. This is my role. So just keep this floor clean.
Exactly.
So
every cog in the wheel has an important place, and a job of a leader or a business owner or whoever's in charge is to make sure that you've got those cogs in the right place.
Yeah.
And so claim, chosen, loved, acknowledged, invested in, and matter. That's what people want, because they want to belong. In a sea of humanity, belonging is a shore of security, love, and identity. If you don't know where you belong, you don't have identity.
Yeah, I mean, and that's really it's a powerful acronym, and it really applies to anything. I mean, it applies to sporting teams, it applies to churches, it applies to businesses. You want to come into, it applies to AmSpirit Business Connection groups or BNI groups. And I know when we lose people, it's because, we use the term love loosely, but it's the same thing, that they don't feel accepted and part of the group.
Exactly. They it also works in your personal relationships, like in your home.
Oh, sure.
And
yeah.
If you apply this in your home, you've got to internalize this, or you're not going to authentically be able to express this outside of your home.
Now, does your husband use, well, I guess you guys are a team. Do you use this in the church? I mean, this is obviously there's scripture and gospel or whatever.
Well, he's retired.
Oh, okay. All right.
But we did use the principles, but I didn't come together with, I was like, how can I explain this? What is a framework? All of this that I've learned from all the times that I've built community, because and then I realized belonging and community is what people want. Do you know 3 out of 4 people express some amount of loneliness?
Yeah.
So
it's an epidemic. There was a Harvard did a study. It's scary.
Well, and the lockdown didn't help.
No.
I mean, suicides went up.
Yeah.
Because by human nature, we want to be with other people. And one of the healthiest things you can do is to be generous to other people. And when you're giving to other people, it helps you health-wise, and happy chemicals released in your brain. Excuse my scientific knowledge.
We get
happy
it.
Chemicals, yes.
Yeah.
But if there's not somebody there that you can share to or give to, then depression sets in. Of course, people are going to be lonely and depressed and suicidal.
So you guys had churches, multiple churches in different 15 different cities, 8 kids, 15 different cities, five southern states. It's a menagerie of numbers here.
Yes, it is.
But you got this real estate.
Now
you have a team. Does it play into your team?
Oh, totally. Well,
if I went to your team and said, "What does claim mean?" Would they fumble like me?
Well, my team is my husband and I. So he's heard it so many times. He's like, "Can you?" I mean, he lives it.
Yes.
But I don't. I use it with all my clients without saying, "I'm claiming you." I write them handwritten notes. I ask them, tell me more. I, acknowledge where they are and their needs. I use this underneath, and I live it and don't talk it. So I am.
And that's fine. That's fine. I mean, it's whatever it takes, right? I mean, I'm sure there are people who can recite all that stuff and not execute on it, right? And there are people who can execute on it and couldn't remember C from L or get them all backwards, and it spells something totally different.
Yes.
So,
well, I only got this acronym acrostic about, I don't know, 3 years ago. It was right before the pandemic, actually, when I was just struggling. What is it? I know people want to belong. Belong is too long of a word. 5 points is better. And then I realized, being claimed, like, I want that one. That's what people want. And then it just fell into place. I don't know.
It's good. No, it's I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we stumbled on each other. I do a 1-minute podcast where I just have a 1-minute daily where I share somebody's insight. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to write one about this, just what claim is. I always give people credit because that's part of it. And so, and I'm sure I will, talk about it again, with my network, and just kind of sharing these thoughts with them. Go ahead.
What I was going to ask, as you work with this and incorporate it, please give me feedback and illustrations of successes.
Okay. Yeah.
Also on my website, diairby.com, I made it really complicated, diairby.com. There are some free downloads that talk about claiming the home, claiming
Okay.
the church, claiming yourself to be healthier.
Mm-hmm.
Just they're very short little. Can read it at the stoplight. Ooh,
Oh,
wait.
I'm a big fan of less is more, right? People put out, and I'm not disparaging people's work, but you know what? If it's 15 minutes of reading, it probably will never happen, right? If it's 15 seconds, 100 times, I will get through it here or there. So
Right.
less is more. I mean, I'll get your website in the show notes. To wrap up at this point, how can we help you? The audience is listening. Got a real estate practice. Certainly if you're in the North Carolina area, got a house to sell.
Yes. Interesting enough, I am in a network of agents all over the United States and Canada.
Okay.
If anyone, anywhere, even Ohio, I have my peeps there that can help you. I'm with Keller Williams, and every morning I'm on a morning call with 1,000 agents, and we talk about what's going on everywhere. And I just sent a referral today. I got another referral yesterday. So, because I'm a networker, I'm a connector, and I want to connect you, anybody, with, if you want to sell a house, I'll send you an agent that can do a great job for you. If you want to buy a house, I'll send an agent that can go to battle for you and find one in the bushes somewhere.
Right. Well, good.
So that's one way. Send me referrals.
Yeah.
And I'll take care of you. The other one is to visit my website. I invite you to, like you made reference to my TEDx talk about the magic of the meal. That is yet again building community around food and the value of that. I would be so honored if people would go watch that.
Well, I really appreciate your time today. This is all from a comment on a post that Michael Whitehouse put up, and you, or actually I made the post and then Michael commented and you commented, and I'm like, who is this person? That was very insightful. And we're connected now.
We are connected, and that's what it's about. We've built our own little community here.
Well, and I feel claimed,
And you are claimed, and you belong, and so do I. And it's great.
This is great. Again, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Frank. I enjoyed it.
Thanks for joining us on the Networking RX podcast. Please put what you've learned into action today and let us know if you have questions, comments, or ideas for future topics. You can email them to us at podcast@amspirit.com. That's AmSpirit.com. Finally, so you never miss an episode, be sure to subscribe to the Networking RX podcast through iTunes, Overcast, or however you receive your podcasts. Now get out and network with someone.
The Networking RX podcast is the copyright production of AmSpirit Business Connection. All rights reserved.